men's 100 meter dash at the Rome Diamond League is officially over, and that race was anticipated for a few reasons. One, because Trayvon Bromell, Fred Curley, and Ferdinand Omanyala were all going to be on the starting line. Simply put, those men are fast. I'm talking historically fast. Like on this side of Usain Bolt, they are on the short list of men who have gone under 9.8 seconds. However, all of those men have some question marks as we look forward to 2025. Now, it is what it is, what those question marks are. But I literally, before this race went off, just read a comment where somebody asked the question, is Trayvon Bromell really back? Because he had run 9.91 seconds in a race that almost nobody actually saw. I mean, it was a pure athletics meeting in the 100. But that was then. This is now. Because when you're running on the Diamond League stage, people generally are paying attention. And hey, I turned on the race and I'm watching it with my own eyes. And when that gun went off, you have to understand, the announcers were shocked. His start was so electric in that race that there were question marks on whether there was a false start or not. And they checked the results and they checked the boards. There was no false start. He just ran away from everybody. So much so, where when he gets to the finish line, it says 9.84 seconds. Wind legal. And nobody else in the race was faster than 9.99 seconds. Shout out to Emmanuel Esame, who is severely underrated because he is the man in second place. That said, if you needed to get any information on the Trayvon Bromell situation, allow me to clarify. Trayvon Bromell is back. In fact, it's almost like he never left, at least what we're seeing now on the clock. So I'm going to put this all into perspective because when we look forward to the World Championships this year, and specifically to the USA's, if Trayvon Bromell is back, I said it before and I'll say it again, this is about to be a problem for a whole bunch of the world's fastest men. Allow me to explain. The thing is, the doubts around Trayvon Bromell specifically, because remember, I gave other names, but him specifically, is that there's a rhetoric, there's been a narrative created that he doesn't show up in big meets or that, he might run fast in races here and there, but the truth is, like, if you really look at the report, Trayvon Bromell is a next level talent, like one of those generational talents. He always was like that. He was the fastest boy in high school, I believe. He was more or less the first American high school boy to break 10. Like, that's what it was. Now, granted, we can talk about win factors and so on. He goes to the NCAA level and wins the national championship immediately as a freshman. He's the last freshman male to ever win the 100-meter dash at the NCAA meet. Like, no man has done it as a freshman to win the 100. That is Trayvon Bromell, the same man who won World Indoor Championships the moment he left college, early might I add, goes to the Olympic Games, and that's when the injuries started. Basically, Trayvon Bromell's entire professional career has been through injury, and Justin Gatlin said it himself on the Ready, Set, Go podcast, which I enjoy, might I add. He said that when we think about Trayvon Bromell and injuries, he didn't just have regular track injuries. We're not just talking about a hamstring or a quadricep or anything like that. We're talking about career-ending injuries. That is what he's been dealing with. We're talking about torn Achilles, and he's had issues on both feet and surgeries. Again, not like ticky-tack stuff. Real injuries that shut down people's careers. And he has battled back from that. At this point, more than once. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, and if you really want to know what's going on with the fastest athletes in the world, then you are in the right place. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. But when we say Trayvon Bromell is back, what we mean is the same Trayvon Bromell that you might remember, ran 9.76 seconds in a race in Kenya. That Trayvon Bromell? And the same Trayvon Bromell who got a world championship medal in 2022? That Trayvon Bromell? The same one who won the Olympic trials in 2021? That Trayvon Bromell? That guy is back. And considering Noah Lyles has a bye to the World Championships, I mean, these are the facts. It is what it is. He doesn't have to run at the USA's in the 100 or the 200. There's still 3 spots, not including him, for Team USA to get there. And Team USA is a hard team to make. But when you start looking at the roster of guys who we got remaining, the ones who've shown us that they're ready to run. I mean, Kenny Bednarik, he's ready to run. I don't doubt that for a second. And Trayvon Bromell definitely looked ready to run. When you see 9.8, because remember, it was 9.91, followed up by 9.8, in a race where he runs away from the field and makes it look convincing. If those two men are showing up to the USAs and they plan on running like this, good luck out there, because there's only one spot remaining. You can take your pick on who you think is going to get that remaining spot. It might be Fred Curley, it might be Courtney Lindsay, it might be Brandon Hicklin, and it might be Christian Coleman. But now, for all I know, it could be Christian Miller. A bunch of people want that spot, but there's really only one spot remaining. Again, if they're going to run like this. When we look at the rest of the men who are in the field, as far as Fred Curley is concerned, he recently won a 200 in a Continental Tour event and then came here to run this 100. He didn't break the 10 flat barrier. He's been, somewhat up and down at this point in the season as far as, what we've actually got on the clock. The thing about Fred is we've seen that movie before, where it wasn't necessarily injuries about Fred. He just has a lot of things that have happened that have been, less than ideal across the course of the season. But you really can't doubt Fred anymore, because you have to understand that last year when he makes the Olympic team, that was not supposed to happen under any circumstances. Everything was going wrong that could possibly go wrong, at least what it seemed like, in a track sense, for Fred Curley, like heading up to the Olympic trials. He even showed up to the Olympic trials technically unattached at that moment. And he still made Team USA. And then he still made the final, and he still got a medal. Like, remember, Fred Curley was the last qualifier for Team USA. Like, the last spot. It was real close between him and Christian Coleman. But then he gets on the team and then gets a bronze medal at the Olympic Games. And of course, I know that he believed the gold medal, and he told us as much in an interview, that the gold medal could have been his, even though, the race is done now, and we know how the chips fell. The Rome Diamond League event, it was anticipated, because we had a bunch of athletes who we were curious about, and we wanted to see what we were actually going to get. Ferdinand Omanyala had not broke 10 flat up until this point in the season, but he's been competing a fair amount. The only victory that I remember watching with Omanyala on the track, the only one I remember watching, was actually at the Atlanta City Games. And I believe that was in a 150 where Noah Lyles was supposed to compete, and then he wasn't in the field. So it basically opened up the race for everybody, if we're just being honest. But if the 100-meter dash in the Rome Diamond League is all you want to talk about, there's really nobody else to bring up at this point except for Trayvon Bromell. Because he went out there and, I won't say shocked me, but maybe shocks a few other people. Because the thing about track and field is that people have a very strong recency bias. We just remember the last thing we saw. And because the last thing they saw was not Trayvon Bromell winning championships, it wasn't Trayvon Bromell winning world-leading times, or even Trayvon Bromell representing Team USA, they forgot that it actually happened. And they forgot that injuries was the primary reason why we stopped seeing it happen. Again, this is the world we're living in, and where Trayvon Bromell is a world leader, once again. And if you want to make Team USA, or for that matter, get a medal at the Worlds, you are still going to have to go through him, once again. In the sport of track and field, race day is honestly the easy part, because all of the real work gets put in when nobody is watching. When you wear every day is training day gear, you can let the whole world know that your success in competition is not an accident. Order yours at scarecruiting.com/shop or use the link in the description below, and it always comes with free shipping. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.